Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in the sight of God and this congregation to join together into the holy estate of matrimony, these two that shall be one. The marriage that we have come to witness today is a tribute of your love, one between another, and is in the sight of God a picture of Christ's amazing love for his church and how he gave himself for his bride. Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance as long as you both shall live? Will you?
I will.
Then will you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance as long as you both shall live? Will you?
I will.
The rings, please. Placing the ring upon her finger, repeat after me. With this ring.
Did you see that ring? Where'd he get it from, the Cracker Jack box?
Mother.
Oh, no. I know you didn't say anything.
Oh, yes, I paid for the wedding.
No. That's my son.
I don't care whose
You
son
don't
it is.
say anything about my son.
I say whatever I want to say. Your son's a thug.
You don't know me like that. Baby, I will snatch this earring off and I will wipe you up on the floor.
She should have married Harry anyway. Your son don't deserve her.
Hey, man.
This is the house of the Lord.
You need to step. You and your little husband. Step.
Please, go there.
Don't let the dress fool you.
You know what? You're beneath me. Come on, baby.
I hope you understand that everything that starts out right in a marriage, as you can see, doesn't end out all right. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. And there's some things you should know before you do. You got a new person coming into a lifestyle that is already set, full of junk and clutter that you want out but don't know how to get out. And you don't trust the person you brought in enough to listen to them to get it out, because sometimes you've had your junk longer than you've had your woman.
Bringing the junk into the marriage, when your attitude is a certain way, when you're single, when you're driven, you're used to making the decisions by yourself, and then you come into the marriage, and that's another thing you have to clean out. You have to clean out some of yourself and become selfless and start living for that person as opposed to just making decisions for yourself.
People today love to play games with each other. They like to act like they quit. They like to act like they're mad. They like to act like they're leaving. They love to play games on each other. The only problem with that is marriage is not for kids.
When we meet somebody for the first time or we start to date them, that we meet their representative first, right? And we don't meet the real person, right? And so we always put on that front and that mask. How much more junk, you know, maybe the person we chose has than what we thought they had, because all we got to meet was their representative.
We're all acting crazy now. Crazy is an equal opportunity sport. Poor folks say, we're going to be crazy today. Rich folks say, we got it tomorrow. Hey. White folks say, we're going to do it at 2 o'clock. Black folks, we're doing it at 9. Hispanics say, we got 7 o'clock coming. We're going to be crazy.
I allowed myself to be the Naisha, who I am, and really see who I am in God, and allow my past to be the weapon to propel myself into the future.
What you decide today has the power to impact your tomorrow.
Get rid of the pain, get rid of the bitterness, get rid of the frustration, get rid of the agony, and as soon as you make some room, oh my God, tell somebody, say, I'm making room, I'm making room, I'm making room. Here's your ring back, here's the picture back, here's the anger back, here's the temper tantrums back. I've got a message for you that I believe is going to bless you, and I believe it's going to be life-changing, but I want to start it out here before I go in there. I'm surrounded by these beautiful cars, these luxury cars, these Cadillacs. Man, aren't they lovely? Absolutely marvelous. Big old wide rim tires, plush seating. It looks real good on the outside. Take this one over here. It's really, really special. I sound like I'm selling cars on it, but I'm after something. You just follow me. It's a really, really sharp. Look at that interior. How nice and plush it is. You get up in this boy, I tell you, got some, smells like it's new. Probably drives like it's new. It's lovely. It's wonderful. And anybody who was trying to pick a car, looking at this one, you'd probably go for it. It's all shiny and bright. You know, cars are kind of like people. If you just go by the outside, they look really good and really sharp because they prepared it just for you to look at, for you to enjoy, for you to be enticed, for you to be excited by. But man, let me tell you, I mean, now this one is beautiful. Smoke gray, big wide tires. This looks good, and everything's just as good as the rest of them. It looks as nice as the rest of them do, and then all of a sudden you fool around and you say, I'm just going to take this out a little bit closer. Oh, wait a minute, I got a problem. Somebody hadn't cleaned this thing up. This is a mess, y'all. They got all kind of junk in the trunk. Just like you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Touch your neighbor and say, I got junk in the trunk. Yeah, that's right. Everybody does. And this is what you don't know when you date them or when you meet them. You're so caught up with how they look on the outside. You're so caught up with externals. You're so caught up with the plushness of the way they talk and what they drive and where they live. And then you fool around, you start getting in here and you start seeing all this junk. I don't know whose car this is, but I know they've been to McDonald's. They've been to McDonald's because I can tell by the junk. They got, they had a, look, they had an oil change recently. Yeah, because they still got some Pennzoil in here. Yeah, they've had an oil change recently. They've been to Wendy's too. Oh, whoever owns this car likes to play games, because I can tell by the junk they got in the trunk. It's all, they've been to Colonel Sanders too. What I'm trying to get you to see is that when you start dating people, you never get to see what's on the inside. You never get to realize that in spite of the slick talk or the nice looks or the shapely body or even the scriptures they quote or the way they walk or their gait or their presentation, you don't know that they got all of this junk. The junk comes from all the places they've been. You don't collect it in a day, but over years and years and years of not cleaning yourself out and getting yourself together, all of your past is represented by the junk you got left in your trunk. And then you get up in front of a preacher like me, and we pronounce you man and wife, and you get married, and the honeymoon, and then the honeymoon is over, and you get home, and the next thing you know, all the junk comes out, just little by little. My God, it starts coming at you. Every time you turn around, there's all this stuff coming at you. I'm going to show you how to deal with the junk in the trunk right after this. Yes, right? God bless you. I'm Bishop T.D. Jakes, the senior pastor of the Potter's House right here in Dallas, Texas, and you are watching the Potter's Touch. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to share the word of the Lord with you. You will remember on last week, we began a teaching series based on my new book, Before You Do It. Everybody's talking about it. There's so much buzz about this. I think it's because it deals with making great decisions you won't regret. And many of us can look back on our lives and say, Lord, if I'd have known better, I'd have done better. And oh, I wish I had another chance. I want to show you how to make the kinds of decisions that will cause you to be a winner and be an overcomer and cause you to see things properly so that you can be all that God would have you to be, not just in your marriage, but in every area of your life. Today, we'll share more with you out of this book, Before You Do. The decisions you make affect the rest of your life, and that's why I'm really honing in on these decisions. I may get on your nerves for a while talking about decisions, but I really do want you to really challenge yourself to get the tools to make decisions. They don't teach you this in college. They don't teach you this in school. And many times you don't learn this at home, just the sad memories of lost opportunities. You don't learn how to make great decisions until you've made a great mess. Well, last week you saw a dramatization of what happens when marriages are in trouble and they face crisis. But it's not just at the altar. Many times we say, I do, and we find ourselves in situations in other areas of our lives where we really need to get things together. And we get in a marriage or in a relationship, we exchange vows, and then we're in a crisis. We get there and we say, oh, God, I didn't know this person was this way. I didn't know I had that to deal with. And we bring a fair amount of junk into our relationships. We bring a lot of trouble into our relationships. I'm going to deal with something today that may make you laugh a little bit, but there's a message behind it, and I want you to watch it and see how you can begin to have whole relationships by getting rid of the junk in the trunk. Take a look at this. When God created Adam, he created Adam with Eve inside of him. Okay, the Bible says male and female created he them and called his name Adam. And when God says it's not good for man to be alone, what he's really saying is it's not good for man to be all one. Adam started searching and searching and searching. Tell somebody, say the search is on. I mean, the search climbs over all barriers, crosses all cultures. The search is on. People are looking for love anywhere they can find it. They'll cross cultures, they'll cross religions, they'll cross ages. You'll see somebody 70 with somebody 23. I'm not criticizing it, I'm just pointing it out. The search is on. And love is where you find it, frankly. Love is where you find it. It's such a rich, valuable commodity. If you can find faithful, committed, focused love, you've done something. You have really done a feat. If you can find somebody who can love you, especially if they can love you in spite of the junk. Let's get this out of the way so we can identify right now. Just tell somebody, say, I got some junk up in this trunk. You cannot live in this world and not have junk in your trunk. You just collect it. It doesn't mean that you're a trashy person, doesn't mean you're a bad person, but you're a busy person, and you stopped by KFC and you couldn't find a place to, you put that in the back, you stopped over here and you got an empty oil can, you meant to take it out the car when you got home, but you got busy and didn't get to do it, your toolbox is in the car, and then you got a spare tire, and then next thing, little by little by little by little, just the process of journey creates clutter. So the older you are, the longer you live, the further you go, the more you confront organically, without any effort on your part, you collect a lot of stuff. If you've ever had to move from one house, isn't it amazing when you get ready to move? And the stuff you've collected. I mean, you can get ready to move from one job to another. You didn't know all that stuff in the file cabinets and under the desk, and you're hauling out boxes for 20 minutes. Just living, the process of living, you collect a lot of stuff, and you find yourself in a situation where you're dealing with some tough things. Adam was walking around trying to find a suitable helpmeet, a suitable. Somebody say suitable. Now, if there is a suitable helpmeet, then there has to be a helpmeet that is not suitable. How do you define suitable? If you don't know that, you don't know what you're searching for. You're just searching for something. And if you search for something, you will get anything. Have you written a job description of what a suitable helpmeet would be for you? Or are you like Adam, just searching through the animals?
I think she should know the man she's marrying really, really well, because a lot of people jump into marriages too quick and they don't really know their partners, and then after they do get married, they learn something about their partner that they didn't know and they really don't like it. And so I think they need to really get to know who they're going to marry.
I agree with that.